yeah, just the tomfoolery that was going on set because it was my birthday and we were in production. We were trying to have fun with it because it was late. We were all exhausted, like you would not believe. But we were like, we just got to do it,
Delirious.
Yeah, because the next day was my birthday party, and the day after that, I'm pretty sure you were flying out. So we were like very much strapped for time.
Yeah. Well, and we also, because we're literally psychotic, decided that even though we shot till like 4 or 5 in the morning, we were going to play the next night in the spaceship a showcase at the place with like other bands, like full bands and stuff like that. So,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Metaverse Degen for the hot tub episode. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and our guests are somewhere from another planet, and they are...
Hey, I'm Vicious from Synthia.
Hi, I'm Fangs, and I'm also from Synthia.
Thank you for joining
Cynthia.
us. It's very much appreciated.
There we...
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
No problem.
So, congratulations, by the way, on the release of your new album and the event that happened Saturday. It was an amazing show, and you guys played fantastically. It was amazing to watch and listen to.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I know we both appreciate that. Sorry, I can't just speak for myself, but thank you for being there, both of you. It was a really awesome event.
Yeah, it
That was
Couldn't have
great.
gone better. It was a treat. Couldn't have gone better. I think it went off without a hitch.
So, I'm sure there'll be people watching this who's not seen the one we did with the video we did trainingfangs. How did you two get started with trainingfangs? What's the origin stories? Then we'll dive into everything else
with
Synthia. Like,
Oh, no, you said training fangs.
no,
How did they
I
get
did.
together? What the fuck?
I said
going,
training
what?
fangs.
They're sisters, dude.
I
No,
said
you did not.
Most people
You said
most people who've seen this wouldn't have saw the video we did with training fangs, is what I said. And then I asked the question.
That's not what it sounded.
Yeah. Oops.
That's not what it sounded like. But okay.
Sorry. What is the origins of Synthia? I apologize for the issues.
You are so fine. Sister, take it away.
well, we are sisters in real life, and we're also sisters in synth. And we both like to collect and play and produce with keyboards and gizmos and all sorts of weird like 80s toys and I think just gradually over time like we also have a lot in common musically, like, the stuff we like to listen to. So over time we just gradually started writing and it kind of happened naturally, you know? And I love writing with my sister. She's such a talented person and we have a really good time just like plugging a bunch of stuff in and going into the spaceship of synthesizers and playing music. It's really great.
Yeah, you are a talented sister. My sister, she's very modest, but she's an incredible music producer, vocalist, and all around musician in many, many, many different instruments. So if you need something produced, let us know. Incredible producer, really. She's very talented. I think too, like, we used to, like, way back in the day, we would do like open mic nights and cafes and stuff and like sing songs. We'd play on the guitar and whatnot. We didn't play too many keyboards, I think, up until later in life. And then my sister, you went on your own musical endeavor as a solo artist, and which you still do now and are still amazing at. But I don't know. I think like maybe how long ago was it? Did we start doing when was the birth of Synthia?
I feel like it started before we realized what it was. And to
Mm.
answer your question, I think some of it also stemmed from like growing up watching musicals and animated musicals and movies with a epic soundtrack and things like that. We would watch those and rehearse them, and I think that inspired us a lot when we were children. And then growing up, it just kind of clicked. So, and then when you were talking about not really having synthesizers, we weren't collectors yet, but our parents are also musicians, so there was lots of weird things to bang around on in the basement. Like, in
Mm.
fact, when I think about one of the first times we wrote a song that is now becoming something that will be on our upcoming album, it was written on an 80s JX3P, Roland JX3P synthesizer that was just basically collecting mold in the basement. And it became pretty monumental for us starting our project, I feel like. But, like she said, we were also playing like acoustic guitar, and eventually that also got sampled and turned into, the music, the composition as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Now I'm
Yeah.
just blabbing.
No, blab, blab, girl, blab.
Blabbity.
Let it all out. We're all standing here in the pool. Well, I'm not. I'm on the edge of it, the pool. But
You better watch
I
out,
got.
Raptor. You better
Yeah,
watch
I'll
out.
drown. I'll drown. I got a question for you. When you girls do your music and stuff like this, do you come up with the music part of it first or the writing of the song first? Hey, I got this lyric here. See what I'm getting at? And then you put a song to it, or do you do it the other way around? Or
Oh,
you
this
do
is
the
a fun
song
process.
Yeah, I think that there is no rhyme or reason. We do both, especially since we have this like, whole world and storyline and concept that we're building music around. There is really no end to the story when you have music to continue the story on. But at the same time, I think both of us, we're inspired by the music to write the lyrics and to write the story as well. So like often it will start with just like a really cool beat or an amazing arpeggiating synthesizer sound or something like that, or a sample that we made or found. So we're really inspired by the sound, I think.
Yeah, and I think too, excuse me, like normally, I think, like you said, there's no rhyme or reason. We do both, but um, I feel like the most natural thing will be we'll write a riff. It'll be very like rudimentary, and then we'll just start like humming things over it. Like we'll send each other voice memos, like how does this sound like? There's no lyrics yet, but we're like, na, 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 or whatever. And then from there, we'll put words to it. So I feel like that's usually our process. Not always, but that tends to be,
Meow meow meow. It's like meow 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 meow.
Yeah, we do that. We were like, we should go like this. Meow, 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 meow,
Look out, Meow Mix is going to look for a new jingle. You guys are going to be on the front page.
We've actually often said that we should probably write jingles for a living because we just do that naturally. Like we'll be doing an activity and singing about the activity as we're doing it.
Oh yeah, kids in school hated me for that, but I couldn't stop, and I never will.
Never.
So this album, what inspired you to create this album specifically, like the themes in it and the message you're trying to push? Because from what I remember when we talked with Training Fangs before, there's a certain message you guys try and push out in your music. There's a certain theme to the album. What did it take for the process of building that?
So I think that the whole concept kind of evolved from, I don't know, first we just knew we wanted to create a band named Synthia. And I think initially actually it was supposed to be like a synth opera. We were like, let's make this like big production. We'll write the songs to the production and tell a story. And that never really panned out yet. Yeah. But I think it just sort of evolved into this thing where, once we started, it snowballed from there. And we knew that there was a message of unity and love, and that love is tangible. You can use it as power. And how can we apply that to how the world is hurting today? Well, the world is hurting, the actual planet. And so what if we were from the future and we're transmitting these messages, from the future to people of the past to, have them join our cause in saving the planet, essentially, and saving humankind. I don't know. What's your take on it?
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you. And as far as the album, like the release we just put out, Go, is basically the first chapter of what we're, I guess, would consider the beginning of the release of the album, which there'll be a follow-up EP with some remixes next year, and then a full-length album to follow after that. But yeah, the message of unity and love, it's not just about, it's not just about connecting with people on, hey, let's try to do better for the planet and try to do better for each other, but let's connect through music. And I do really love that message. But then there's also more of a fun and playful, superficial kind of thing going on with like our love for anime and our love for video games and the 80s and the early 90s and like retro neon colors and stuff. So we get to have a lot of fun with all of that. It feels like we get to touch on a lot of the things that stylistically we've been inspired by our entire lives, all in one project. So
Yeah. I definitely think a lot about the aesthetic, and the sound is an homage to nerd culture, essentially, something that we hold very dear to our heart. So if you watch the video, you'll see a lot of influences, obviously, like Sonic, Sailor Moon, Toonami, Sci-Fi Channel from the 90s, just things that were like very prolific in our adolescence. And who doesn't love nostalgia? Yeah. So I think that's something we try to present in a really playful way with our music video. I also will have to say, like, a little shout out to like Scott Pilgrim, even though that's not like an older thing. That's definitely something that we are very, that aesthetic is definitely something we're influenced by. So, yeah.
Wow. So I did get to see the music video you guys put out. What what inspired the creation of that, and how long did it take to make the music video?
Ooh, sit
Goodness.
down. You have how much time do you have?
Tell us everything.
Just to answer the one
Let it
question
all out.
about how long it took us just under 4 years to create the I think it was 7 minutes and 21 seconds long video. And it was a labor of love, but we did really love it. We were living on opposite sides of the country, and I was flying home, and she was working with her partner on a spacecraft, and we would just all our friends came and pooled their like tech trash and would come help us build this crazy spaceship. So everything's built by hand. All the costumes are done by hand. So it did take us quite a bit of time, but I wouldn't have it any other way, really.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning process, because I know that we had this very we had this dream. It was a huge vision, and we were like, how are we going to make this possible with literally no budget? And I've said this before, and I think it bears repeating, that it would not have been possible without the help and the support of our community. All the people who came and helped us. I saw friends that I hadn't seen since frickin' high school who came to help me build this fucking spaceship. Sorry. And like, my heart is so full it could burst. It's insane, because I put out a Facebook event And I was like, project, build a spaceship. Come help us build a spaceship. And, and if you can't come help build a spaceship, give us your tech trash, give us your old computers, give us your old keyboards, your old toys, like wires, whatever, you name it. We had so many people giving us stuff, and we were just deconstructing it all and spray painting it and lacquering it to the walls of this set to make the components of the spaceship. Sticking LED lights anywhere we could put them in, black lights, neon like acrylic plastic, like it was insane. And yeah, so it was really like I never thought that we would actually finish it. I was very scared that at one point that might not happen. Because it was such an ambitious. Yeah. You know me, I'm a worrywart. So I don't know. It was such an ambitious project to do with literally like I said, no money. I mean some money, but not what you would typically expect from, I would say, and I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but the production value that we gave, delivered to the audience. It's a, yeah. I could watch it over and over again, and I'm very proud of it. I think we did a really good job, and I know that sounds kind of cocky or arrogant, or I don't know, vain to say, but it's really fun. It's a really fun video, and we put our blood, sweat, and tears into it, and a lot of people contributed to that. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a question.
Sure.
Here it is. Whose frickin' garage is it parked in? That's what I want to know. Who got suckered to park in the damn thing in their garage?
Well,
So
it's actually
a bunch of it's in a trailer in my driveway. Some of it I might be floating around at our bad guy's house. Although I think maybe we picked up some of it because there was actually technically, like you saw, 2 different spaceships. So it was quite a bit of stuff. Some of it is no longer with us, just because of the amount of stuff. It literally took, I mean, how big was that space that I used to have? I mean, it was a venue-sized space that we built the original spaceship in, and then the set for our bad guy, Motor Mouth. So it, we have most of the basic pieces ready for our next part of the saga, where we pick up where it says to be continued. I'm not going to give anything away yet, but yeah, we kept most of it, and it's we're going to be carting it around from state to state, actually, and taking turns babysitting it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's
going to be what. No, sorry,
ahead.
I didn't mean. I can see these 2 girls going down the road arguing back and forth. It's sitting in your frickin' yard this week. Last week it was mine, and the neighbors bitched about it. Didn't know what the hell it was, and everything else like this. Girls, if I knew you sooner, really did know you sooner, and everything else like this, I could have probably donated electronics up the butt, but that's not what I'm getting at. I could have donated you a flatbed trailer that my dad and I built. It's a 5th wheel that you could actually put a Sherman tank on and it'd pull it. That's the way my dad and I, we built it. And we practically gave it away. It was something he wanted to build, and then he bought something else to take its place, the whole and all this kind of stuff. And we sold it to a farmer. He hauls bales of hay on it, and it's 36 feet long. And he hauls round bales on it, and he says it just goes down the road like it belongs. Yeah, if I knew something like that, and we practically gave it. We had more hours in it, just like what you do, a lot of hours and stuff like this. And when we got down, Dad sold it for about $1,000, and the trailer was worth 10 times that for all the hours.
Yeah, dads do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Get this out of my yard, please, for nothing.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad idea, though. Like using like a camper or a trailer, and just like retrofitting it.
Retrofit it.
Look like this spaceship.
Gut the inside of it, except for the outside walls, and retrofit it so you can actually pull it from one point to another. It's still legal. You just change the inside, and you're not sleeping in it. You can pick those up all over the place. Hey, you never know, folks. They just might need a donation. If you got a crappy ass trailer that their old dad ain't using and just collecting weeds, give them a heads up, would you?
Yeah.
We're here for it. I don't have anywhere to put it, but
All of a sudden, you got
figure it
6
out.
more of them pulling up. Where do you want me to park them at? I got 12 of them in the backyard. Not mine. We're going to have to find a warehouse. Book this bitch in because it's just not going to fit in my yard. Yeah.
spaceship for
that's
everyone in the
crazy.
saga. Sorry, go ahead,
absolutely.
sister.
No. The funny thing is that, well, I guess it's not funny. It's kind of sad, but like the reason why it's in a trailer is because it came from a giant warehouse. That's where we set up everything and where we produced videos and music and had live showcases for about 17 years. But then recently the building got demolished. So now we're like, what do we do with this thing? But we have plans.
Yeah, we have a plan. We can't tell you what. You have to go watch the music video. We don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't. But yeah, not losing that space was actually a huge like blow for us, as you know, because not only do we utilize it for our own purposes, we did utilize it a lot for the music community here in Boston. So to lose that was pretty rough. And now, you know, you have a house. I live in an apartment. We don't really have like a big warehouse space to shoot pictures, shoot music videos anymore. So that's something we've been trying to figure out recently. So
One
Yeah.
of the
I
most
got
fun
another
things
one.
about the situation was before the place closed and we had to break down everything down. The spaceship lived in our space, which we rented out to touring bands and all sorts of stuff for people that wanted to do videos with us. And we had live showcases with people literally playing inside the carcass of this spaceship, all lit up with like LEDs and everything, and it was really cool. It made for some awesome shows and some really cool pictures. So I was happy about that, at least.
yeah,
What were
it
you
was
saying,
funny having a spaceship just like set up in my apartment for 2.5 years. And people would come in to like, you know, because we had a soundstage there, people would come in to rent the room and they'd be like, whoa, what is that? I'm like, oh, that's nothing. That's just my spaceship. You know?
I think for a while it was like a funky bar too. Whenever we'd have like, you know, showcase events, we'd have like a quirky space bar, and I don't know. So it got a lot of use.
The cantina. Dun, 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 dun,
cantina.
dun, dun,
I
dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
got
dun.
I got another question. In your video, for the folks that haven't seen, does the keyboards and stuff that you're playing actually work? Actually hooking up
Some
when
of
you're
them.
actually playing it, or some of them do? That's
Yeah,
cool.
Some
Okay,
of
I
the
was
toy
just curious.
pianos were battery operated, so you could actually play them. And then the bottom of our keyboard, spaceship, and like, you know, the front of, what would you call that? Our
I
dashboard,
would call that like,
essentially.
yeah, like the control hub. It was like a weighted keyboard, an actual weighted keyboard that we gutted and put and filled with LED lights, and it didn't work, like it didn't produce music, but it was like reactive to music. So
Yeah.
it would bump, you know, light up and bump to the music. So that was really cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the themes of your music video and the story you're trying to push, may I ask about that? Like what's like a rough, without ruining the music video, story of it?
I don't want to ruin anything, but more or less, I'm like, how do I say stuff without giving stuff away? The video is just like basically a peek into our world and the start of our story. So it's the beginning of our story, more or less, to give the audience members an opportunity to be like, oh, what is this? Who are these people? What is their mission? And why is this person, you know, approaching them, coming to them? I'm afraid to say too
Pursuing.
much.
Pursuing.
Yeah, pursuing. Yeah, so more or less, it's just a little gander into what is to become a much bigger story. Take it away.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Sister that it's basically to entice people to kind of look more into Cynthia and the Cynthia universe. We do eventually want to present a lot of lore to the audience. That's really important to not only our music but our message. And again, as I said before, we present it in a very playful way, but the meaning and the message is actually quite serious. And I think that it's something that the world really needs right now, and I'm not like, oh, Cynthia's going to save the world, even though that is the goal of the characters of Cynthia. But yeah, we're sending a message to people of the past or the now from the future that, that we have to love one another and we have to work together to save our species and to save our planet. And yeah, that's really kind of the gist of it.
Yeah. So
Got another
symbolically,
question line.
Cynthia is kind of like the, sure, we're supposed to be seen as like the heroes, but at the same time, the real hero is everyone coming together. Like Sister said, it's gonna take all of us and all the efforts from everyone to do better in order to make a better place for us to live and to keep the planet alive.
Okay.
I got another one for him. Now, knowing that I'm going back to the plot because that's the creation of what you've done and everything else like this. Because I do that stuff myself. I tinker with all kinds of shit.
Ooh.
What one object between the two of you that you picked when you were building the ship that you put in it, but it's like an Easter egg that I wonder if anybody will actually see this.
Maybe the Flux family magnet.
Yeah, that
Oh.
Flux family magnet is definitely one of them.
There were a couple of little ones in
There was a Dalek. We
Oh.
had a little Dalek that was glued
Dalek.
into the board. Little hat tip to Doctor Who.
Yeah, the Flux family is dedicated. It's a community that put together music festivals and art festivals. I don't know if I should say where or dox them or whatever, but
Yeah, oh my God, you can. Let's
okay.
let's do a shout out
Our
to
buddies in
Flux.
Arkansas at Flux festivals, and they've basically flown us out to Arkansas a number of times to play under the stars in the woods, and it's amazing. It's such a good experience, and it's got those vibes that we'd like to bring with Cynthia. Community, love. Be good to the planet. Like, it's a very clean festival. Everybody takes care of their trash. Like, it's no one steals anything. Everybody watches out for one another. It's like it's cool.
Yeah, it definitely resonates with our vibe in a big sort of way, and they've also been a huge supporter of of us as as a band, and then also you for your solo projects. And yeah, it's the kind of festival you go to and you know everybody's name. Like, you're on a first name basis with everyone there. And families bring their kids, and the music's always great, and there's a river you can go swim in, and it's just wonderful. So there's a Flux family magnet that's in the spaceship. So but that's kind of like an I Spy if you see it, because it's kind of small. And then there's a little Dalek in there, and also a taco magnet.
Oh, yeah,
Taco magnet.
I was like, I knew
It's
there
a
was one
taco
more.
magnet.
Yeah,
I
there's
had
a
tacos
magnet
for dinner tonight. They were delicious.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I had I had mac and cheese.
Mac and
We
cheese.
fueled the spaceship
With tacos and mac and cheese, pretty regular.
There we go. Yep, there we go.
I've never heard a spaceship run by tacos and mac and cheese. That's the first.
It's the high octane spices with the milk cheese to get it down the road.
Yep. Powered by farts.
Powered by farts. Now the next time I see that video, when you guys at launch and it goes out and you kick in the thruster, wow, that's mac and cheese, man. I wonder if it's the cheese or is it the taco sauce? It's kicking that bitch off.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, so those are just a couple little Easter eggs that if you're spying real hard, you'll see them. Oh, there's also like a BlackBerry. That's there's like a BlackBerry phone, and I think a Nokia phone, and like a couple other like weird little old school electronics that you'll see lacquered to the walls of the ship. And oh, I guess I probably shouldn't say there is a Death Star in there too, but it's really hard to spot.
Yeah,
Mm.
so a lot of
like-
hat tips to things that we love and adore, and that have been inspirations to us as kids and adults.
Tacos.
So all of you out
Oh,
there who's gonna
taco.
watch the music video, go into the music video and timestamp where everything is.
See if you can spot them.
If you can spot all of them, we will send you tacos.
Yeah, tacos on us.
I got another one on the guy that's chasing because you got a bounty on your bounty. How'd you con that man into doing to do what he does and everything else like this? It had to take a lot. You can't tell me you seriously want me to do what? Okay.
Aw. No.
Oh man,
our
definitely
buddy
not
Paul.
sure, man. Go ahead.
Paul, his name is Paul Dodge, and he's actually a member or the head of our street team, and a really good friend and a fan. He started as a fan of our music, just kind of coming to shows and being a supporter, and then very quickly became friends with us. And then tell them about how you like reached out to him, I guess, about the role.
Yeah, it was a really easy sell because Paul enjoys being in creative projects. Like he gets really involved in the music scene and the community. He's a huge supporter, not just of our music, but of a lot of local music. And so we appreciate him for that. But he's also kind of like, I wouldn't say he does cosplay because he makes up his own costumes, but he comes up with all these different costume ideas all the time. And I just figured, man, you love the music, we love hanging out with you. You're a sweet dude. You got a really unique look to you, and like you also love to dress up. Would you like to be the bad guy? And he was like, hell yeah! And so yeah, it was a really it was a fun conversation, and I think he really enjoyed. I mean, I don't want to speak for him because he's not here, but I think he really enjoyed getting all the weird things like attached to his head and glued to his face and eating globs of weird goo. And
Yeah, the neon stuff we put. We love you, Paul. The neon stuff we were putting in his mouth to make his teeth glow green. I don't even think that you're supposed to like ingest that shit, but he didn't care. He was like, put it in my mouth. I want my teeth to be green. You never have a more willing participant. Like you said, it was just an easy sell. He definitely gave it his all. And I mean, it's hard for me to admit this, but I really think he's the star of the show when it comes to the music video.
Absolutely.
Because his character is so compelling and hilarious, but also terrifying at the same time. You're just like, what am I looking at? And his delivery, because he does a lot of like D&D and like role-playing stuff. I didn't expect him to be like such an incredible actor. He really nailed it. So
Absolutely.
so yeah.
He actually helped work on the script a little bit with me as well, with the dialogue part of the script. And so we're just super thankful for him all around. I mean, there was a couple of really late nights getting those shots and stuff, but I mean, I had a really good time. So
yeah, we were running him through his paces because he's not, he's a lot older than us. I think he's close to almost 60 at this juncture, 55. I can't remember.
closer to mid 50, but
yeah. He's in his
55, but
yeah, he's a lot older than us, so and we shoot these music videos really late into the night, so we felt so blessed that he even though despite all the late nights, he just knocked it out of the park, man. He was so good. Couldn't have gone better.
yeah.
Also, too, when we were shooting our portion of the music video, because we had a very limited amount of time where sister here had just come over. You were living in California and had flown over to make the music video. And we were like crunch time, hardcore, trying to get the set finished so we could shoot it. And we had, our director of photography and our cinematographer, Dave Palmacci and Stephen Laverme, and they just stayed with us until, I don't think we started shooting until like close to midnight, and it actually was like my 30th birthday. Like we were making the video into my 30th birthday. So like it was very cathartic in like this really rewarding way, even though like we were shooting until like 4 a.m. I was like, this is the coolest thing any 30-year-old has ever done. I was like, this is the best birthday ever. So that'll always be a really fond memory for me. And yeah, just the tomfoolery that was going on set because it was my birthday and we were in production. We were trying to have fun with it because it was late. We were all exhausted, like you would not believe. But we were like, we just got to do it.
Delirious.
Yeah, because the next day was my birthday party, and the day after that, I'm pretty sure you were flying out. So we were like very much strapped for time.
Yeah. Well, and we also, because we're literally psychotic, decided that even though we shot till like 4 or 5 in the morning, we were going to play the next night in the spaceship, a showcase at the place with like other bands, like full bands and stuff like that. So that
Oh,
was
wow.
mental, but it was awesome. It made for some cool pictures. We took some parts of the spaceship that could be dismantled and did like a photo shoot with like, no, what do you call it? Photo booth with everybody. And so I don't know, man. It was probably one of my, even though we were so exhausted and crunched for time, I didn't even buy like a return ticket to California until like that day, literally, because I didn't know when we were going to get done with the production. But it was probably one of the best weeks of my life.
It was wild. Such a fun time. It really was like, like sometimes like on set you get really stressed out, and it's not always the most pleasant experience. A lot of hurry up and wait, and people getting anxiety for reasons of all sorts, for all sorts of reasons. But I think the main thing about it is that we were just excited it was freaking happening. We were like, this is actually going to happen. We're actually going to do this. We're going to perform in a spaceship. We're going to, our spaceship dreams are finally coming true. And we had no idea what it was going to look like with CGI or anything like that. But, we just went for it. We just went for it.
So,
Whoa. Hi, folks. You folks come and join us on our social and on our Discord. We love to see you there. We have a Patreon, and we have 2 people that have signed on, trainingfangs and Zero. And I hope we get to see you there, folks. We appreciate the time and effort that you make. And my ball's getting out of here because it needs new rubber. Bye.
I've got a question for you. Let's go back to a little bit further before the album. You guys went from playing real life shows to the virtual world. What was what was the transition like for you guys going from like some real life stuff to also doing virtual stuff?
Well, I
You
think
wanna
the
start this
pandemic
one?
had, yeah, sure. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. Venues weren't really open. And as we've said before, we've played festivals, and yeah, we've played live a lot of venues here in New England. And I mean, even before we were Synthia, we were performing live together in a number of projects. So that's just something we've done together pretty much our entire adult lives, I would say. And yeah, so during the pandemic, I think I'm kind of blanking here. Will you take it? Sorry.
Sure. So during the pandemic, even though I had just moved back from California to Massachusetts, um, it was only about like 6 to 12 months before COVID. And so even though, and my sister and I were separated, we had to be quarantined from one another for over 6 months. And in that time, you got your index, I think. That was around when you started to get into VRC and started to do VR. And like, of course, I'm like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. I've always wanted to do VR, like even before it was really what it is now. And so eventually I got surprised with an Oculus headset for my birthday, thanks to beautiful sister and some family members. And that really opened the door for us. You know, we went to a bunch of shows. We were hanging out with creatives that were like, you know, just on the beginning of it, like the cutting edge of all of this stuff. And we were like, this is amazing. Like, this is everything we've ever wanted to do. And we're multimedia artists, so it just kind of clicked. We're like, this is what we want to do. We want to bring Synthia into this. We want to bring all the things that we love to do, you know, video, music, creation, and hopefully it will continue to grow. We'll be able to build worlds and all sorts of crazy stuff together. So that's, I mean, hopefully I covered it.
Yeah, no, and I can take it. I can expound from there. Yeah, so when I got into VR, I think it was for a very different reason. I think it was because I lacked a social outlet, and we're both pretty social people. Prior to the pandemic, you know, we'd go to a lot of shows, support a lot of the local music scene, host our own parties, host our own shows, and just generally would spend a lot of time with, you know, other creative types in our region, collaborating on projects, XYZ, you name it. And then just, you know, abruptly not having that, I started hanging out in Vrchat as a desktop user and started to observe the creatives here. Obviously, there was a lot of toxic bullshit you gotta kind of wade through to find the good parts of this platform. But once you do, you're in it, and it's just a really beautiful community to be a part of. And I knew instantly that I was like, oh, Synthia would be so good here. Like, yeah, Synthia is cool out in the real world, but here we don't have to dress up for 2 hours to have our, you know, outfits on, because like that's a whole other production. When we perform live, we have to make ourselves look the part. Here we just have to put on an avatar. I commissioned someone to make our spaceship Gaia, which is the spaceship that you're in the music video. It just seemed like a really amazing medium to kind of present this story that we had, you know, had percolating for so long. And then, yeah, I got my sister a headset so she could come and start participating with me. And I was part of a group called the Metaverse Crew. And they invited us, and they had heard me, like, I got involved with this group as like a desktop user, and they showed me all the wonderful things about VRChat that I still love today. And the whole time I was, you know, conspiring with them, I was like, this is what I really want to do. I want to perform shows with my sister here on this platform. How can I make that happen? And they gave me a lot of tools and resources on how to pursue that. And I owe it a lot to them, because our first performance ever was actually for the Rain Dance Immersive festival last year, the kickoff show. And they got us the gig to go perform for that, and that was amazing. And that was our first show ever. And since then, we played for Enterfest, and then again for Rain Dance Immersive 2023 this year, the kickoff show again. And then we had our first ever premiere of our world, our music video and performance in our own world this last Saturday. So it's progressed in a really nice way, and it's been an interesting learning process, you know, getting everything, all your ducks in a row when it comes to performing in VR, because I know, and this is a shout out to all the people who do that here on this platform. I know it's not an easy thing to do. And yeah, it's really awesome to kind of provide that for the community, because the community has already given us so much, and this is kind of like our way of giving back. Yeah.
So what for the show you did this Saturday, and for your kickoff of your music video, what was the preparations for that like for you guys? What did you guys do to prepare for the show leading up to what was streamed to everybody?
So it's kind of, there's a lot of different frontiers, right? There's the live production, So that's, producing and mixing in Ableton. And, my sister is playing some amazing analog synthesizers on top of that. Vocal production, rehearsal, of course, which, is always fun. And the thing about it is that because we play, we're not just like, we do love DJing and stuff, but it's not a DJ production, because we're doing live instrumentation, and we need to be in sync with one another. We live in two different states, so we have to get together, plug in all of our stuff. I think we're using 3 computers at once.
Four.
Am I right
Four
about that? Four.
Four
computers. It's gone 3 and 4 and 4 and 3. I mean, it's gone back and forth, but so there's that part of it. Then of course, coordinating with the artists, and the artists, by the way, Naku and PK, who performed with us, we have a lot of respect for them and their craft. And we've been to some of their worlds and their events and performed with Naku before, and just getting to perform with them, having that moment, and like after we performed, I got to see them on stage and just sink into it and be like, oh man, this is a dream realized. Like, I'm so excited. Then of course there's like the art, we have to do the promotion and the art, and all the art's done by hand and stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it. Plus, you've been working on the streaming aspect a lot, as far as like visuals and stuff. Like, there's a lot. But it's awesome.
It is a
I love
lot.
it.
It's so, yeah, and I said this on the last stream. It's a lot of fucking work, but it's so worth it.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. The stream was a huge part of it. That's kind of where we've fallen short in some of our past performances, where the audio just didn't sound quite right, or the visuals didn't look just quite right, or, like things just like weren't, we're kind of perfectionists in that way, where like I don't really like to settle, and I really wanted to make sure that I refined the stream. Thankfully, I brought this up in this little group meeting that we have every Monday with a little brain trust of other creative types who work in the same field. And God bless the Anticrust came to the rescue and helped me, basically facilitated our stream through Enterverse TV. So huge shout out to the Anticrust, to Gobbit, to Sullivan and Mad Mox and everyone else at Enterverse TV, because the stream that they produced was incredible, high quality, everything looked perfect, everything sounded great. So that was a huge relief for me, because I have a very particular way in how I want us to be presented, and I was really worried about doing the stream myself. So I learned a lot of things in that process, working with that team about how to implement VRCDN through a VLC input, just utilizing a URL to link different streams into one scene on one OBS. That was really cool. And yeah, just like generally like the workflow of getting a stream to be enticing to an audience that isn't super familiar. And I think at one point we had like 110 people watching the stream, which is, really amazing for us to hear. And I was hoping for like, 15, 20 people to watch a stream, and I'd be happy with that. But apparently a lot of people watched it, and that just makes my heart burst, that people were interested enough to come and watch the stream and stick around and participate in the chat. Yeah, so
I'm really grateful for Enterverse TV too, because I think that they had a huge hand in that. Not just with the production quality, everything looked professional. The switching from different scenes and videos and everything was like super smooth. But they also had a really good like personality, and like asked a lot of really good questions. The interviews were really awesome. Like I think they just did a really top-notch job. So I'm super grateful for them.
Yeah, me too. I'm super grateful. They did like before we even got on and opened up the instance, they were doing a tour of our spaceship, which I didn't know they were gonna do, but that was pretty cool. Just
cool
walking
idea.
around and yeah, it was really cool. And then they also at some, throughout the stream, they would have us and other individuals come over and talk about the show. Yeah, so they interviewed us. They interviewed a couple other people. They interviewed Naku. I think they interviewed PK. I'm not quite sure actually. But yeah, they just did a bang up job. It was awesome, and I couldn't be more grateful. And I really look forward to working with them again in the future when it comes to doing things like that, like bigger productions, bigger shows, not just pop up things, you know. So.
Did you guys expect the reception from all of that when you guys got into the whole Metaverse TV and streaming your the release of your music video?
No, I felt like I was on the red carpet, man.
Yeah, it did definitely give it that touch for sure.
Yeah, it definitely. I wasn't expecting it at all, and I am so grateful for the way that it panned out because I don't know, I'm a worrywart. I get scared. I'm like, man, maybe no one's gonna watch this, you know. And no, people showed up, and people were supportive, not just of us, but the other artists, and then the stream in general. So that was just a huge relief because I was worried that, you know, things were just gonna go haywire last minute and like nothing was gonna work and everything did work fine up until VRC's servers kind of
that was
pooped
crazy.
out. Yeah, they crapped out like towards the end of our event. But the only thing that really affected in the instance is that the visuals were a little laggy, but we could still hear everything and people were still
People couldn't
having a good
leave
time.
Also.
Yeah,
No.
I was like,
We're like, you're trapped
you're
here with
trapped
us in
here.
the spaceship forever.
Yeah, it was like, if you leave, you're never coming back.
Funny thing
So a lot of people just.
that happened to
Sorry,
me
go ahead.
when I went. Like when I said I was gonna join Raptor before I was gonna head out for the night. I was like, crap, my headset's doing a fun. I gotta reset it just to make sure it works. And then nope. I wonder what caused all those issues with the VRchat servers having a stroke. Sorry.
Yeah,
think
it was
a lot
because
of it
everybody
has to-
decided to come to our party and we just broke the internet.
Yeah, that's it. I think generally like Saturday is just a
Savvy.
really heavy traffic time for the VRchat servers. You know, it just probably just an overload. So I will say support VRchat, okay? If you don't have VRchat
Support
Plus and
VRchat.
you have the means, support VRchat because they need money to buy more servers. So we don't have to deal with this crap, okay? Please, thank you. That's my 2 cents.
I agree.
I've been supporting VRchat since before I even had VR. You know, I was like, I just want an icon. Like, I just want an icon. I wanna have 400 worlds and more avatars. You know, that I think that was, and I also wanted to support the platform. I was like, this platform's really cool. I will give you $20 a month. You deserve it.
Take my money.
Yes, shut up and take my money, VRchat.
Yeah, I do very much agree with you in supporting VRchat. With as much as the community in VRchat has given out, I think that less than $10 a month that you get, that you give them, is definitely worth all of it. Think of how much time the four of us have been in here this last year alone, and what has happened this year. $10 a month to give to VRchat is nothing. That's just my view.
Is it only 10? I thought it was 20. Is it more? It's less than that?
No, it's $9.99.
or something.
$9.99 a month or $900. No. $99. And yeah, they're getting expensive. $99.99, almost $100 for a full year. I know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get mine back up again because mine lapsed, and I'm trying to get it all from. Yeah, and I'm lost again.
Yeah.
That's what happens when your brain turns to Jello.
Yeah, I feel that.
Is it the green Jello? Your favorite kind? We know.
Yeah.
You want the honest truth, Fang? You want the honest truth on that? I can't stand the fucking color of green. Ugh. No way would it be green Jello. No way in hell. Hey,
we
fucking
talked
green.
about this last stream where I was like, yeah, you like
Yeah.
lime jello, don't you? And you were like, yuck!
Yuck, what the hell?
Beetle
Yuck.
brains.
Ugh.
Oh, I'm sure
If
you're
I want to
really.
eat pea soup, I'll eat pea soup. You know, it's easy to put down, right?
Yes, sir.
When you get pea soup. Yeah, somebody wants pea soup. Yeah, the old man needs pea soup. He's losing his teeth. No pea soup for me. Thank you very much. I pass.
I like pea soup.
Pea soup is
But no,
great.
no meat, just the pea. Just the pea soup. Just the pea. Sorry.
Just the pea? Just the pea in it. No soup. Just the pea.
Fuck
That's
me,
all it
man.
is. Wow. Hey,
Well, we
Mom,
just learned a
guess
lot.
what? The soup's got a little wang. I don't know what you put in it, but it's got a lot of wang this week. Hey, boy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misspoke.
No,
But I do
don't.
like pea
it's a-
soup.
It's okay. Sorry. It's all good. So, after this last weekend when you guys did the Metaverse TV stream, what is some of the next things that you guys wish to do after experiencing that?
We want to keep going. We want to keep
I like that.
producing
The other one looks
shows.
at the other one. I get a kick out of that. Come on, sis. Help me out here. I'm blind. I can't see shit. My blinders on. Help me out. I just love the two. The way they work. You can tell they're sisters. One looks at the other one. The other one looks back and going. It'd be like when you were a kid, when you wanted to go to the neighbors to play. You had to go to mom and go, Mom, can I go? Well, go ask your dad. So you go, Dad, can I go? What'd your mom?
Go ask your
ask
mom.
your mother. So you spend 20 minutes bouncing back and forth before it's over. You just give up and go, I'll go play with my toys. Forget this. I ain't getting no one. That's the way these two are. It's just bouncing from one to the other.
I think it's because we don't want
But
to
it's
talk
good.
over.
Bad guy.
We don't want to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
We
talk
do it all
over
the
one
time.
another.
We do
I
it
think
all the time.
also we have we're obviously two individual people, but we also have a lot of overlap. And so it's like sometimes I forget that we're not the same person, bruh.
When we
No,
look
so
at each other
we're
like
gonna-
that, we're talking to each other, through telepathy.
I don't know. I think I speak for both of us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but our plan is to keep producing shows, not just in our venue, but with other acts and other worlds, and hopefully more festivals. And we just really like in real life and in VR, we love to facilitate live music and media. We just want to be part of that because it's something that is like part of our lifeblood. So the plan is to keep going with that, and whenever we have another video to show or music to showcase, we'll probably put something together. But nothing quite in the books yet. After the show we just did this past weekend, we need like just a little bit of downtime.
Yeah, I think we need a break. That a lot of work and effort went into that, and I will have to say that I'm pretty wiped after that experience. But going into the next one, I'll have more of a. We have the experience now. We know what we're doing, so going into it, the next one will be a lot easier. I will say that I think our next music video will be shot in VR. Collaborating with someone, I don't want to say who, but we are going to be collaborating with someone, a very prolific filmmaker here on the platform. Hopefully, we're going to start talking to them next week about shooting something. So I'm pretty excited about that. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I'm interested how that will translate, through the saga, the Synthia saga. So we got to be careful about how we present that, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna
Some
do
ideas
next.
up our sleeves, though, I think, and
Yeah,
how
we
it's gonna all
do.
blend together and weave.
So, since you've done shows in both in VR and IRL, are there any similarities between the two or differences between the two?
Oh, performing live in real life is a lot easier.
I mean, that might be because we have more experience with that, but
Right. Right. I think, but you also too, you don't have to utilize so many devices. You're not strapped into a bunch of gear. And then also, you don't have a thing in front of your face when you're performing on a real stage. So I think it's really like a hardware thing that makes it a little bit more difficult. But as we keep on doing it, I think it'll become more like second nature, just like us performing on a real stage. I will say, and I've said this before, I get more nervous before I perform in VR, and I don't know why. I cannot explain it. I don't know why, because when we do this in real life, it's just like something we've done forever. We do it in VR. I get like butterflies. I'm so scared. You know, because so much can go
That's
wrong.
kind of cute.
So much
I
can
love
go
the
wrong.
butterflies.
That's kind of cute. Oh, sis, you're so cute when you get your butterflies. If you want to barf in this Dixie cup, go right ahead. I'll watch later. I'm not into that. Sorry.
There's no way it's gonna fit all into a Dixie cup, homie.
It's kind of situational.
That is basically off of a movie, if you know what movie I'm talking about. But hey, dude, if you're gonna hurl in this, and it's a Dixie cup. Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, sister? I didn't mean to talk over you.
Essentially, that I get butterflies like the next guy, but mine's more situational. It's not like VR versus IRL. There are times that I've played to like very big crowds, and then I've played to very small, intimate crowds, and been more nervous for the intimate crowd than the like hundreds and hundreds of people. And so when I'm in VR, it's really about like if things are working out or not. Like if we're having like a bunch of technical problems, because that happens. It happens IRL or VR. But like I think that, and then the vibes too. And I think one of the things that made the most recent event easy for me was that we had such a professional team and everybody was like such a supportive force. It was like, like I got that relief feeling, and it actually helped me feel a lot more confident going into the show.
Yeah, the stream going very smoothly definitely gave me a lot more confidence. I will say that for sure. Because that was one of the things I was really nervous about. Because if the stream doesn't go out well, then what people are seeing in the world isn't going to come out well. So that was just like a really big part of it. And yeah, again, another shout out to Metaverse TV. You guys, I fucking love you. You nailed it.
Yeah, well, God damn it.
Well, from there, we're going to cut it from here. Where can people find you if they wish to go find any of your work or you personally?
We are on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, and the Twitters, and I believe also YouTube under Synthia Sisters, Synthia with an S, like synthesizer. Synthia Sisters across the board, pretty much. So,
yeah. You can go on YouTube and look up Synthia Go, and you can find our music video. You can also find our single, like Sister was saying, on all streaming platforms. I actually was cracking up and seeing all the streaming platforms we're on, and somehow we're on Napster, which makes me feel old, but that I used to utilize Napster. So we're on all streaming platforms. You can go listen to our single, a remix by our really good friend Nyoki, and then I can never say his band name right, but there's an 8-bit remix as well. How do you say his band? I'm terrible.
I do not want to butcher it. I'll feel really
it's like
bad.
Apocalypse or something. I don't know. The Apocalypse. He makes 8-bit music remixes, and he's really good at it. And he's actually working on another one for our next single. Which will be really cool. Then what else? Oh yeah, you can join our VRchat group, which, god damn it, I don't have.
You can send me the links to all these things after, and I'll put them in the description.
Sure.
I'll also go to the Metaverse Twitch, and I'll put your stream link, because I believe they have it so it's still there after the fact, and I'll put that down in the description too. Go down there, there's fun things.
Oh yeah. Go look at the fun things. Yeah, go check out the VOD. The VOD's amazing. There's about an hour and a half until performances kick off, but all the stuff before that's really fun and interesting, with the people of the stream and what they were doing. So it's definitely worth checking out. And any Metaverse TV stream at all. Actually, we're gonna start doing them. Well, not as Synthia, but Enterverse is gonna start streaming every day soon, so that'll be really cool. But to get back to Synthia stuff, yeah, our YouTube, our streaming, our VR chat group, and our Discord. We would love to have some, other friends, other creative types come join us, as well as other musicians here on the VR chat platform, or even if you just want to hang out, even if you're not in VR chat, come join the Discord, chat with us, and yeah, come be part of the world. It's a really fun time and a really positive community. No bad actors thus far, so no complaints here. And yeah, we would love to hear from you in any sort of way.
Come on down.
Come on down.
We're cutting the prices and moving them out.
Oh yeah, I forget that you're kind of local too.
I live in New England. I know the commercial.
I'm not gonna say the name, but come on down. Come on.
Well,
Come.
Get in
Join
here.
us.
Get in
Get in
here.
here. Get in here.
thank you again, both of you, for chatting with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to hear your side
it's
of
been
it.
a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Raptor. Thank you so much, Lion. We love you guys. You're
Uh-huh.
amazing, and we appreciate the
Yeah.
opportunity.
We
And we appreciate your time.
and we appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. I've learned a whole lot about you guys, and I appreciate getting the chance to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
No.
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Well, Raptor,
I gotta leave
before I
that
say more
I
things to get
I
myself...
say any more things to get myself into trouble. I'll do it for you.
Hold up.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, please close this out before I run my yap longer than I should.
On that note, folks, I'm dead serious. Watch these girls and everything else like this. You never know. They just might fly by. I hope they do me and pick this little shit up because it's damn great, and I can't wait for the next sequel. Take care, folks. Bye. Take care.
Hello, everyone. This is just going to be a really small teaser for a show we started on Patreon. Just right after this little intro, it's going to be a bi-weekly show. We'll be talking about various things, conspiracies, fun conversations, maybe weird history, things like that. The first episode should be up on our Patreon now. It'll be open to everybody without a paywall, the first episode anyway. Every episode preceding that will be, well, behind the Patreon wall, but for you to see what kinds of things going on, please feel free to go over there, check it out. It's right within our card, metaversedegen.card.co. That's card with 2 R's. And thank you very much to some of our Patreon subscribers, which is going to be Trainingfangs and Forbidden Zero. Please enjoy.
I believe that aliens have been here and everything else like this. It just slowly, it's like letting the air out of a balloon. You know, you just let a little at a time, because if you lay it out on the table, water's water, right? You understand that. But when you understand something that you've never seen and only get a glimpse, it's just like every creature that's people have seen or something like this, no matter what it is. If you don't have physical proof or have more than 3 people to prove that they saw the same thing you are, and everything else like this, because you got to realize, you go back in history, we didn't have cell phones, so not everybody had a camera to carry around going, look what I saw. You know, it's a different story. Not everybody carries cameras back then. Now everybody's got a cell phone or had a camera, all this kind of stuff. Everything leaks out a little bit at a time. So people, but your question, yes, I believe that there's other life forms besides us here.
So,
no matter how far out it is or what.
My thoughts on aliens is I do believe they
What about
exist. I do believe they exist, but I'm a lot more skeptical. I don't think a lot of the sightings people claim are out there are as genuine as a lot of the community may think they are. I think maybe 98% of it is just people trying to share a story or hoping they exist. You know, a lot of the time when things go about and people want to take part, a lot of people fabricate a whole lot of things just to say, look, I'm a part of it too, to some degree. And I think a lot of it may be that. Stories, self-embellishing, a lot of those things. Now, in terms of like
Yeah.
our position as a human race and aliens,